long-term update on the Mitsubishi EVO 9. Now this is the Australian model, and this particular car has had some modifications over a period of time, but quite some time ago the client got an MRT XB kit, which is the 40 kilowatt kit with the exhaust, ECU tune and other package of parts. But also in that period of time now it's on its second clutch, it's got some new springs and shocks, sway bars and things like that. So I want to grab the opportunity and just show you from a long-term test point of view how you can rely on parts on your car and just some of the things that you probably should keep an eye on if you're maintaining a Mitsubishi EVO 9 from a long-term maintenance point of view. And in this particular car, you'll notice it's actually quite dirty. The guy lives out on a farm. Pretty comfortable in giving it a bit of a hard time on the gravel, a little bit of damage underneath, but it's a good indication of what you can expect. So what we'll do is, just starting from the back, you'll see a lot of the nice brand new parts. We fitted some brand new Bilstein coilover shocks because the original factory fitted ones got a little bit tired and they weren't worth rebuilding. So here, these are the replacement struts that we pulled out of the car, the original factory Bilsteins. It was an option on the EVO 9 here in Australia. You can see that's a non-adjustable strut. That's actually really a coilover shock. It's not a strut because it has no guiding function. The front shock absorbers, or the person strut, is that one there. It's got a new rear sway bar which is fully adjustable. Interestingly, at no stage did he actually originally fit that in the first place, but we've done it this time because we've put a brand new clutch in the car, and when you fit a clutch on an EVO 9, it's virtually free to fit, other than the cost of the parts that is, free to fit labour, the front sway bar, because you've got to pull the K-frame out to do the sway bar and the K-frame out to get to the clutch. So he opted for a front sway bar. And the reason why we did the back is because if you do a front sway bar on its own on a four-wheel drive sedan, it will tend to make the car understeer more. So you always do the back first, or back and front at the same time. So it's a little bit of a tip. You'll see it's got the MRT complete exhaust all the way through the front. Doesn't look too flash, does it? But it's in incredibly good condition. There's no big bangs or knocks. Some of the other things that he's had some maintenance on, obviously, is the long-term oil change, AYC service with the active rear diff. Remember, on the XB kit, the MRT exhaust comes with a new replacement center resonator to just reduce a little bit of that drone. Also, you'll notice if the cameraman comes around this side, the rear O2 sensor is behind the catalytic converter, so it has the correct long-term fuel correction for the exhaust mixtures going out through the exhaust, which is what the ECU senses from. And also you'll notice here, you can see the brand new sway bar fitted, and where we've cleaned up the lower K-frame before it's been put all back together. But also you can see the detail with the MRT exhaust. This car's probably done well over 100,000 Ks now, and you can see there's absolutely no sign of any fatigue, cracks or failures or any leaks in the exhaust system, which from my point of view makes me feel good as well. The exhaust that we supply and fit comes with a Hiflow metal cap, and that also is still continuing to maintain some good reliability as well, as you would expect from a lifetime warranty point of view. If I get my cameraman to spin around, what we can see on this side of the car is we've fitted new roll center kit, and also down in here the lower ball joints. Now this car actually had a roll center kit fitted some time ago, but because of the punishment it gets on the gravel roads, the lower ball joints, whilst they're still fully maintained and in the right condition, the client opted to put a brand new fresh set in to save a little bit of money because he plans to keep this car. So this is what we've removed as the component kit in the front roll center kit. You'll see in a roll center kit you get two brand new tie rod ends and two new lower ball joints. Some other things, just to have a bit of look up underneath the car here, you can see obviously this particular model comes with the 6-speed transmission, which the EVO 10 now only has a 5-speed manual transmission. But you'll also notice that underneath the front here, obviously the underbody protection is all gone because we haven't refitted it yet. It's in pretty poor condition. And also, if we look up around inside here, you can see also the replacement coilover struts in the front as well. Now the good thing about those Bilsteins is they've got remote adjustable shock rate and also adjustable spring rate. So let's go up top and we'll talk about some other improvements on this particular car. So what I wanted to show you here is actually the clutch that we've removed out of the car. Now originally this car would have come with what we call a full face rag type clutch. That is it's not a non-metallic friction surface that has got good give, and you'll see here the springs that take up the transition when you're letting the clutch out, and the wave spring in the middle that gives you that transition when you're letting the clutch out as well. This particular client urgently a couple of years ago replaced it with I don't want to show you the brand side because I don't want to degrade the brand, but what they call a cushion button clutch. So it's got a sprung centre with a button driven plate. I would never fit this into a road car, particularly of a client using this, unless he's going to be doing aggressive launches, because these buttons are not designed to be slipped at all. Whilst the drivetrain on an Evo is incredibly strong, and you won't have any risk, or have a very low risk of drivetrain failure, unlike a Subaru with a 5-speed if you fitted this clutch. What it does do is it aggressively wears out when you try to slip it in heavy peak hour traffic or going up and down steep driveways, whereas this type of clutch will tend to last a little bit longer, but of course this clutch can't take aggressive launches. What you can see here is what it's actually done to the flywheel. This clutch has effectively destroyed the flywheel and eaten into the flywheel, which has resulted in having to replace it with a new flywheel, because on the various Mitsubishi models, depending on which one we're talking about, they don't have a lot of thickness in the flywheel to give good throttle response. Mitsubishi has designed the flywheel fairly thin to give good throttle response without having a lot of mass. The downside is when you give them a hard time on launch, they take a lot of heat, they overheat, and they then distort and crack. And unfortunately what can happen from a long-term point of view, you end up with a flywheel that is unreliable. This is obviously one of the cover plates and the release bearing. But obviously we're at the business end of the Evo 9, and at the moment I just wanted to show you one of the other things that you can't see that's fitted, but this is the original factory flexible high pressure hydraulic line for the hydraulic clutch. Now some of the models over a period of time do tend to fail. It's not something that I would be extremely concerned about in the immediate term, but long term it is a wear and tear thing. And what this client's opted for is a replacement on of the MRT stainless steel braided lines. The good thing about that is effectively lasts forever, comes with lifetime warranty, and relatively cheap to fit when you've got all the parts dismantled when you're doing the transmission. You'll notice the engine bay of this particular car is fairly straightforward and simple. Replacement battery. The rest of the car he's maintained correctly. It looks a little bit tired, but still goes incredibly well. For more information on learning how to upgrade and maintain your Evo 9, there's a lot of really good handy download documents on our website now, as well as you can refer to the online shop where you can punch in your make, model and year and give you a full drop-down menu of all the parts available for your car. But for today, wherever you are in the world, I hope this video has helped you look after your Evo, or if you're looking for information on Mazda or Subaru, give us a call, follow us on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube, make a comment here on our video. But for now, I'm Brett Middleton, thanks for watching.